In every corner of the world, one name echoes with power: America. With bases in over 70 countries, it commands the skies, patrols the seas, and shapes the balance of the planet. Its currency fuels the global economy, its tech giants define the future, and its culture rules the hearts of billions. From Hollywood to Mars missions, from the White House to the battlefield, America's reach knows no horizon. Empires rise and fall, but for now, one stands unmatched: the United States of America, the superpower that defines our age. For nearly a century, one nation stood above all, shaping wars, peace, technology, culture, and even the way we think. From Hollywood to Hiroshima, from the moon landing to the internet revolution, the 20th century was the American century. But today, the world looks different. The dollar faces rivals, allies turn independent, rivals grow stronger, and the once unquestioned global leader is now being questioned. Is the American century coming to an end? The story begins in 1945. World War II had ended, Europe lay in ruins, Japan defeated, and the Soviet Union exhausted. Amid the chaos, the United States stood untouched, powerful, and rich beyond imagination. Half of the world's industrial output came from America. The dollar became the world's reserve currency, and from that moment, the American century began. America rebuilt Europe with the Marshall Plan, created NATO, founded the United Nations, and positioned itself as the protector of democracy and capitalism worldwide. It wasn't just power, it was vision, the dream of an American-led world. Through the 1,950 seconds and 60 seconds, the American dream went global. Cars, television, blue jeans, and Coca-Cola, symbols of freedom and modernity. But not everyone bought into the dream. The Cold War turned the world into a chessboard. Vietnam, Korea, Cuba, Afghanistan, each a battleground in the ideological war between capitalism and communism. Yet America prevailed. When the Berlin Wall fell in 1989 and the Soviet Union collapsed 2 years later, the United States stood alone, the world's undisputed superpower. The 1,990 seconds, the peak of American dominance. Its culture, currency, and corporations spread everywhere. McDonald's in Moscow, Microsoft in every office, Hollywood in every home. Political scientist Charles Krauthammer called it the Unipolar Moment. For a while it seemed permanent. History itself had ended. But the seeds of decline were already being planted. September 11, 2001, the day that changed everything. The United States, for the first time in decades, was struck on its own soil. The response was swift and costly. Wars in Afghanistan and Iraq drained trillions of dollars, thousands of lives, and much of America's moral authority. The promise of spreading democracy turned into decades of chaos. By 2008, as financial markets collapsed, so too did the illusion of endless power. While America was distracted by wars and crises, the world quietly shifted. China rose not with weapons, but with trade, infrastructure, and manufacturing might. Russia, once broken, returned to the global stage with force. India and the global south sought independence from Western systems. New alliances like BRICS challenged the Western-led order. And for the first time, nations are questioning the supremacy of the U.S. dollar. The multipolar world has arrived. But perhaps America's greatest challenge lies within: deep political divisions, economic inequality, a loss of trust in institutions. and an uncertain vision of what the future should be. From the Capitol riots to culture wars, America is fighting itself as much as the world beyond its borders. The 21st century will not belong to any one nation. It will belong to whoever controls technology, data, and innovation. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, green energy, these are the new battlefields. And while America still leads in many areas, rivals are closing fast. Power is no longer about tanks and missiles. It's about chips, code, and influence. Empires don't end in explosions. They fade quietly, sometimes replaced, sometimes reborn. The American century may be fading, but it's not over. Because history doesn't end, it evolves. And the next century will be written by those who dare to shape it.